Hello, everyone. Welcome to Art Friends. We are friends who enjoy, like, and subscribe art. I am today joined by Coda.
Opalia.
Well, also Opalia.
That
I
is
am joined by
true. She was right.
I am joined by both Coda and Opalia,
Yes.
which is in fact the truth. That is how it works.
Yes.
In fact, the truth.
I would say so.
Le Mans. Anyways, guys, what's today's topic?
Well, today's topic is not very loyal because we're talking about cheating, everyone.
Cheating.
We're finally doing it. We're elaborating on tracing, other stuff, color palette theft, pose theft, all the stuff. Hee hee.
Now, would you two consider yourself cheaters outside of art?
No.
Just in general, at board games.
No.
Let's see. No? Question mark? I think I might have done it accidentally at some point. Just because I never read the manual.
Yeah, fair. Well, my moral is it's only cheating if you get caught, you know? Otherwise, it's the game's fault.
Well,
We have a cheater on the run.
note to self, don't play board games or games in general with Coda. I'm just waiting for Coda and me to play like a computer game together, a video game. And he's just trying to cheat, but he doesn't have hacks or anything, so he's just...
Coen, you remember that time we played checkers?
Oh, yeah.
It turned out I had hacks on. I was actually playing both sides. I would move
Wow.
your pieces when you weren't looking.
How dare you?
Yeah, I'd be cool like that.
Well, now you got caught.
Is it caughting if I... Is it... Wait.
Is it caughting? It's only caughting if I get cheat. Coda 2020, I'm
It's
calling
only
him on this
caughting
one.
if I get cheat.
I'm gonna make a new chat. You guys introduced the actual topic. I'm gonna make a new channel in the Art Friends Discord, which is quotes, and I'm gonna put that one in there.
We are today talking about cheating in art. Is it considered cheating? What is cheating? And how could you cheat?
What? I thought we were gonna talk about cheating.
No.
Shaking my head.
Not outside of art.
This is disappointing.
I think cheating outside of art is... Well, cheating is bad. I'll say
Yeah.
that. But I don't think what people think is cheating is cheating.
Same here. I didn't catch your drift. I am the drift.
You are the drift. You have become the drift. But, guys, all the time I see newer artists in particular, but, like, artists freak out about other artists cheating. They cheat on a drawing.
How dare you cheat, Coda?
How dare I?
Really, Coda?
I have once been accused of cheating, which was an interesting story.
You need to tell us about that later.
I will.
Do we just want to start off with that story?
Do we want... Okay, I think it'll be a good introduction if you guys...
Let's start off with that story. I want to start off with that story, actually. Tell us, Coda. Like a quick... You have 2 minutes or something. Go.
Time story. Alright, so basically, a while ago I did this drawing of a kid at the beach. And I didn't really understand how water worked, or how to paint water, or how to draw water even. So I drew this kid at the beach, and I didn't know anything about painting or drawing water. And then I posted it, and I sent it to somebody, and he goes, "Did you cheat on the water?" And I go, "What? No. Did you cheat on the water? It looks like it's from a photo." Which I had photo bashed the water. And...
Cheater.
Yes,
Cheater.
But it was this whole thing where I was embarrassed, so I was acting like I painted it. And then he was like, "No, it's from a photo. And that's cheating. You can't do that." And then eventually it came around. I was just like, well, I mean, I did import the photo, but I broke it down and then repainted over it. Fine, I didn't paint over it that much. Fine, it's the photo, okay?
It's kind of awesome that Coda can't lie for long.
For long.
Yes, now I'm better about
Coda?
it now. But
Coda, are you Are you actually the age that you are, or are you secretly older?
Honestly, sometimes I'm actually questioning that one.
Yeah. Well, that's a fun story. We'll get into this more, but I feel like you could have solved this by just not being embarrassed and being more confident about it. Because if you would have just said like, yeah, what about it? Uh, and if you would just be like if it isn't cheating in your mind, like you shouldn't have felt called out by that because it isn't really cheating. But you shouldn't have said, no, I didn't cheat. You should have said, yes, I cheated. You're welcome. It looks better because of it.
Yeah, I think at the time in my mind it was cheating.
When you cheat, in quotation marks, don't pretend you didn't. You
Yeah, I
smelly.
know. That's just being a good person, you know.
I mean, uh, the most popular laughable one was references.
Yes, using references, because some people are expecting that artists can only are only allowed to draw out of their head. Like they can like look at that person and then draw that person, but don't use a reference image because that's cheating. That's literally how it goes.
Well, I think that stems from three misconceptions: two having to do with memory, and one having to do with
Mm.
jealousy in general.
And I think the like place where that misconception comes from of like artists having to know everything like out of their head is because of the visual library thing, where people
Yeah,
very early on learn that you need to have a visual library to be good at art, and they think that having references is just like
yeah,
cheating in that way on your visual library.
yeah. And I'll get into that now. I think like the first misconception is what Opalia said earlier is that everyone like the only true way of doing art is to do it exclusively from your memory. Do it every no references allowed. You shouldn't look at real life because that's not what art is. No, art is just knowing, definitely not interpreting real life and communicating. No, it's just knowing how to draw.
Exactly.
And
People from Adventure Time are literally just like I don't know, aliens from Mars.
exactly. But then I feel like that comes from the belief that people think they can draw stuff when they actually can't. That's a funny thing with memory. If you see, like, I like this analogy I stole from Robert. Is that if you see Nicolas Cage in a store, you're probably able to recognize him, and you're like, "Oh wow, that's Nicolas Cage." But if you had to draw Nicolas Cage from memory without looking at him, like in recent memory, or without having practiced drawing him before, you wouldn't be able to do a good job. That's just how it is.
I would draw a cage made of nickels.
I would just I would just draw a cage named Nicholas. It's not that hard, bro.
No, a cage without nickel, a nickel-less cage.
Exactly.
Shaking my head, Coda.
Oh, perfect. Well, that could also be seen as a female nickel cage.
That is true. Nicholas. Okay. Uh, you can
Mm-hmm.
actually draw like a whole lot less than you think, which is a shame. But I think the third thing, these are
Nicole
all
Cage.
like possibilities and reasons, but they're
Okay,
not
I'm done.
definitive or whatever. They could be a mix of a few, all of them, one of them, whatever. And last one has to do with jealousy, which is like, oh, I can't draw this out of my head, so this person isn't allowed to have help with it, or something along those lines. Like, I can't do this, and I don't want to use a reference, so this other person isn't allowed to use a reference,
Mm.
basically. I said basically a lot, but basically.
Kind of a
Uh,
silly thing, not gonna lie.
Yeah, that's interesting. I think those are very true, and I think there could be even more subconscious reasons about it.
these are just the three I see the most around, I guess.
Right.
But go
I
ahead.
think one more thing is
Yeah.
that people think when other people use references that they are tracing.
Oh yeah, that too.
Yeah. And whenever someone doesn't really understand how to rotate things in space, references can be like tracing because it's like secondhand tracing because you're looking at a photo, you don't understand what's going on in the photo, so you just
Yeah.
kind of draw it.
And that's just copying without analyzing, which is a thing I have been doing for way too long. Trying to break away from that now.
Yeah, but I think that's why people think that references is tracing, because if you don't understand how to rotate the thing in the image or morph the thing in the image, then you're just drawing the image.
Did you just say how to rotate the thing in the image or to rotate the thing in the image?
I said morph the second time, thank you very much.
I don't know. It really sounded like you said the same thing twice.
Maybe I did. I'll look back in editing and see if I did.
It's just gonna be editor's note shaking my SMH.
If you did, Lamau, you're a loser.
Wait, if I didn't, what am I?
Still a
Cool.
loser.
Oh wow.
Oh.
Okay. You're cool,
Bully
Coda.
Polya is back.
Oh boy. I'm
Bully
not
Polly.
I'm not safe.
Opalia.
Opalia.
No, that's my mother's name.
Opalia was my father's name.
But that's a very interesting topic you brought up, Coda, and I would love to get into that later. But for now, let's quickly have some more fun, and talk about some more silly things people think is cheating, like I don't know, color theft.
Using 3D models.
Yes,
Both of those.
using 3D models.
Coda, talk about which one seems more fun to you.
I didn't even hear what you said, Coen.
Color
I'm
theft.
sorry, I was fixated on Opalia's beautiful voice. Color theft.
Thanks.
I never expected him to. Whoa.
Whoa.
Opalia's just Opalia just turned into a tomato.
Oh.
No. I'm lactose intolerant. I shouldn't eat tomatoes.
You're lactose intolerant, so you shouldn't eat tomato.
What a great pickup line. That'd be, dang girl, call me Bob.
Why?
Because I'm red as a tomato.
I wanna die.
Anyways, I think right now we're gonna do 3D models and then color theft if you like. I think once again, it's not cheating. There's really no such thing as cheating. There's only such thing as stealing. And stealing I wouldn't consider cheating, I just consider it theft, which is bad. So like if you trace over somebody else's drawing, that's not cheating, that's stealing. If you trace over a 3D model, that's not cheating.
Coda, are you saying that stealing and theft is bad in my presence?
Well, I don't want to assume your morality.
Hey Cohen, he once said that tax evasion is not good.
I like. Did you just assume my morality?
Did you just assume my morality? No.
But guys,
Yeah, that's a different
actually,
kind of
I had a talk with someone who draws a lot of backgrounds, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he told me that I can cheat my way through to like learn how to draw backgrounds by using Minecraft as a 3D model. And what would you think? Is that morally acceptable?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
I
right?
do feel like it falls. Like it doesn't fall into it extremely, but more into the cheating yourself category, which isn't the worst thing, really.
Exactly. Don't cheat on your wife, but cheat on yourself.
What would that even look like? Actually, I'm not gonna get it. I don't want to talk about that.
Are there people who have relationships with themselves? That's like
Probably.
the peak of narcissism.
Do you just like whenever you have to kiss the person you're marrying and you're up there by yourself, you just kind of pucker your lips?
No, you like
That's
go
so
to the
lonely.
nearest corner and you do that funny thing where you put your own arms behind your back and make like ridiculous kissing motions.
Just go.
Imagine being you do that by yourself.
The
Imagine that.
the funny thing is, I have super long arms and I can reach my full back. So when I do it and I'm in a corner and no one can see what's behind me, it actually looks kind of real and it's so funny.
I feel like Cohen actually tried that one out.
Oh, I do it for jokes. I used to do it for jokes. I haven't done recently, this is actually a good idea.
Do you do it at like the school or something?
Oh, I should actually do that in school. That's a good idea.
You would just immediately turn into the most most beloved kid in the class.
Most
Coen,
popular.
you're a nerd. You don't have a girlfriend. Oh yeah, she's in the corner. Runs the corner and does the thing. Everyone's like, oh, where'd she come from?
He's a magician.
Exactly.
He's a wizard.
I'll put like the kazoo in my mouth and play Careless Whisper or whatever. But anyhow, should I actually just quickly explain all three categories of the like what people think is cheating, what is actually
Yes.
cheating ? And what is cheating yourself? Because
go
I
ahead.
don't know if there's a good point in this episode to explain that. Basically, the first one's what we're talking about now, the stuff that people think is cheating, but it's like not a problem at all, and let's say that belongs to stuff like there's a lot of gray area in between this, but you can generally have references in here. Although references can still fall under cheating yourself if you're doing it wrong. The second one is actually cheating, which is just straight up art theft. So taking someone else's image, tracing it, or just directly taking it and using it
Which is more stealing than cheating.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Like just taking Coda's image, selling it as merch, and doing that stuff. You know?
And even getting more than him.
Yep. I make more money than Coda using his own drawings. He doesn't know it yet. Don't tell him, everyone. Coda.
Coda is right next to you.
Coen, I was behind you the entire time.
I just checked both next to me and behind me. I
got him into the closet so he isn't visible.
Dang it. But anyhow, and last category is the most interesting one to me because I feel like it doesn't get talked about a whole lot, which is cheating yourself. Which is basically, it isn't wrong at all, but it is kind of holding you back in some ways. Some ways are so subtle that they don't matter, but they can be useful to know about and take into account in the long run.
Yeah.
And stuff like that is like using references, but using references, but not actually analyzing them and just blind copying. You know?
Mm-hmm.
And stuff like tracing, like it isn't inherently wrong if you do it right, but it kind of holds you back from what you could be doing.
You know, I think this would be fun to structure the episode off of. Like, first we talk about what things people think are tracing. Then we talk about, what things people think are cheating. Then we talk about what is actually cheating, then cheating yourself.
That could be fun. Do we just?
I don't think directly drawing over that picture is tracing.
Do we just want to do that?
I think that's a good idea.
Let's do it.
Opalia, you were talking about 3D models. Do you think 3D models are cheating?
Depends on how you use it.
Yeah.
I think it's cheating yourself. I think in a way you can use them like figure drawings where you have them right next to you and then copy the pose, or if it's like extremely hard for you, you can trace over it to like make you learn. Like for example, if you're studying, tracing is okay as long as you see like where you did it wrong. But if it's like for sold piece, I think that's something that you would have to make out with yourself, because like, is it inherently bad if it's like a blank model?
Not really, I'd say, but it does fall under the cheating yourself category. And I do want to say that the cheating yourself category mostly just applies to people who want to learn and not really professionals. Because, like, let's take 3D models as an example. If, like, I see some people wanting to learn art and they go to 3D models, that is not a good way to learn human anatomy at all. Because when you're posing these figures, like it's basically they're not real humans, so they don't really look or behave like real humans. Like the models might be on point with proportions and stuff, but it's still posed by yourself, someone else, or a computer.
Yeah.
You know?
And I think something Opalia talks about a lot of times, that's another downside to using 3D models, and Opalia is passionate about this from what I can tell, is variety in studying. If you use 3D models,
Yeah.
you can only they're always like perfectly average proportioned. But in
Yeah, for
reality,
sure.
there's people with Coen arms and Coda legs and so on and so forth.
Yes.
You guys know those like build it toys, like where it's just regular action figures of a certain franchise, but you can like remove the legs and torsos and mishmash them together.
That's actually
Let's
a
do
great idea.
let's do that with Art Friends merch.
Let's do that with. That's
A
actually a
posable
really
Opalia doll.
Coen, but like one of those 3D dolls. You know what I'm talking about that people use for art reference. Doing that, except you can change the proportions on it, is actually a really good idea.
Yeah, it is. But yeah, I think it's mostly just when you don't know human anatomy, you just don't know how to pose a human. Like when you're a professional, you know human anatomy. If you've done so many figure drawing, so much figure drawing, and you've done so much studies that you kind of know the subtleties of the human bodies to the point where it isn't really a studying tool, or like it's just a shortcut. Like you could
Right.
do it without it, but it's just a really useful and handy shortcut.
So yeah, but like that's all it is a shortcut. It's not cheating,
Yeah,
you know.
it's not cheating, for sure. Like only thing I can think of is if you like illegally download or steal a 3D model, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
That's once again stealing, not cheating.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. All right.
So,
Anybody have anything else that people think are cheating? People think is cheating.
uh,
Sorry.
weren't we gonna get into color theft?
Oh yeah. Apolia, Coen, do you two have anything to say on color theft?
Oh yeah,
I don't think it exists.
yeah. I don't either. Like when I'm in doubt, I just look at professionals because I'm a herd animal, I guess. Uh, which could be seen as a bad thing, very bad thing in fact. I do look at. Don't worry. But like when I look at one of my favorite artists, Emil Dori, he basically constantly steals his colors in the fact that he just has a giant folder of images which he perceives to have good colors, and he just references those or just straight up drops them into his canvas, blurs the heck out of them, and starts painting away. And
Mm.
I don't think that's a wrong thing, really. I don't think that's a particularly bad thing. It might be a letdown to some people, but I don't think it's bad at all, personally.
Yeah. What about you, Apolia?
I would never say that's cheating to use colors because, like, there are only like so many colors that you can use in life. So
Yeah, not even in art, just in
using
life.
yeah,
Wowie.
and like I think it's like you cannot steal a color palette or sheet on that.
Yeah, I think with this, the only thing to watch out for is that it can be sort of tacky. Even if it isn't cheating, other people can still perceive it as some form of cheating or something that's vaguely immoral, you know? Like if Coda sent me this character he worked on for hours on end with this wonderful color palette, and the next day I show Coda and Opalia like, hey, Opalia, Coda, I made this character and it has the exact same palette as Coda. Coda can perceive that to be a little tacky, and that's totally understandable. So like, at least it's best to just at least change something about it, but it isn't inherently
Mm.
wrong to just completely steal, because they're
Yeah.
colors, really.
Yeah, I mean, like Apolia said, there's only so many colors, only so many combinations. You can't really expect people to invent new color palettes at this point.
You can't expect people to invent new colors either.
I don't know. I've tried and I've
Exactly.
gotten close, but
What
I mean, the
did you
thing is, the
make?
human eye can only see so many colors. If we were fish or something, we could see even more colors.
Coda, did you make a color? Did you make a mysterious color from space, unlike any seen on Earth?
yeah, I named it.
I like it.
Fantastic. Sounds like you're saying crunk, except you have like a stroke in the middle of your word. You see?
Yes, it's
You know what I think's even funnier? Like with digital art, I can sort of see this happening, like when you just color pick the color palette. But when you say color theft in traditional art, like, wow, you use the same color paint as me. That's unacceptable.
There's only one paint bottle of every color needed.
You should have bought a different paint. I'm already using this paint.
Throws can of paint at him.
Wow.
The thing is, that's kind of very childish.
Yeah, it is.
Like, going, well, I have used these colors before, you're not allowed anymore.
Exactly.
That's literally two children fighting over who gets the blue plate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the
It
funny
literally
thing
is.
I could take the person who's accusing the other one of color theft and find a color palette exactly the same as their drawing that was done before them. Because, like I said,
Fantastic.
it's hard to invent new color palettes. Are almost impossible because everything's been done. But okay, so I like something Coen said where he goes, "You might see that a bit disappointing or a bit of a letdown that he uses colors from other paintings." And I think that's interesting because I recall because sometimes people whenever they find out their favorite artist takes shortcuts that they don't take, they're like, "Wow."
Oh yeah, then they're kind of disappointed. Yeah.
I remember when Domix first started hiring animators to animate on his videos.
Oh yeah.
I saw in the comments people like, you don't only animate your videos by yourself anymore. That's sacrilegious.
You know? Wow, I did not expect that last one. But yeah, I heard of a similar controversy where it was like Craig Mullins, who's a very popular artist for like games and other illustration stuff. He like drew a water scene and he like used part of a master's painting like as reference for the waves, and a lot of people were upset by that, but it wasn't a bad thing at all.
Yeah.
I think that's just a petty problem on some ways.
Yeah,
a lot of it is.
But then again, you can't expect everyone to be a perfect artist. That just isn't realistic.
Yeah.
Like, even for professional artists,
especially professional
there
artists,
are so many ways you can quote-unquote cheat yourself through art. And I think I wouldn't call it even cheating. I would rather call it shortcuts.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because in the end, it's about making an image that people enjoy looking at. So if you have, if you want to use 3D models, if you want to use textures, if you want to use photo bashing to get there, to make that image, it doesn't matter how you made it. You don't have to painstakingly put every brushstroke on the canvas. As long as you made the image and didn't steal it, which isn't cheating, it's just stealing, then you're good.
I think the best thing to do is to be very open about what you're doing. Like,
yeah, take me as a bad example, my story.
Yeah, take that as a bad example. Like, there's this artist called Johnson Ting. You might have seen some of his videos on YouTube, where he's like photo bashing king, where he just takes like one image of a toaster and turns it into like a surveillance robot. And
that's funny.
And like it's super. And Ross Strauss does it a lot as well, where he like takes a candy bar and turns it into hard equipment.
I know also Control Paint photo bashes a lot.
Matt Core is his name, Coda.
Yes, sorry. I only know him as Control Paint.
Fair enough. First name Control, second name Paint.
Middle name Plus.
Fantastic.
Oh god. But I think like other ways to cheat yourself through art, quote unquote, is as I said, using Minecraft for example as 3D software, or some people use The Sims, that good old video game where you like decorate houses and stuff like that.
Yes, I think The Sims are much less versatile than Minecraft because you only get one camera angle, really.
Then again,
that's true, but like
in Minecraft you only get blocks.
Exactly, you can only do like one shape, which is great to learn textures though.
Yeah, I guess. But I was gonna say about Johnson Ting, like he's very open about being a photo basher, and you might see some comments about him, about people saying like, bro, that's cheating. But most of them are joke comments, the rest are just stupid. But most of the comments are just people saying like, wow, your painting techniques are hecking awesome, it's ridiculous that you're able to turn this one image into a fully realized concept. And it is super impressive. Like, photo bashing and stuff is very advanced.
Definitely, yeah.
If I would try it, I would suck at it, basically.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks for boosting my confidence, Coda.
For example, what also people think is cheating is drawing in an art style of other artists.
Oh, yeah.
And yes, that's what I have seen before. For example, Coda and I want to draw in the Studio Ghibli style for one drawing, like just challenge ourselves, and I can
Yeah,
already
little
see
fun
some comments
exercise.
going. Yeah, and I can already see some people going, but you should do your own art.
I mean,
And it's just.
that is
Yes, Coen?
completely ridiculous to me.
Yeah.
It is so ridiculous.
I don't know. Once again, people are getting theft confused with cheating, because when people get mad about that, it's not cheating, it's stealing another art style, which even then isn't really possible. If you want more information on this, go watch episode
Our second
2.
episode. Yeah.
Ah, stop it.
Okay, no.
Coda, say it normally, now.
Go watch
But cut it out.
episode 2.
Bad Coda. Go in the corner and kiss
Opalia.
yourself.
Bad Coda, you will not get any desserts for dinner.
I just made a reference to a joke we made earlier.
Hey, funny.
Funny joke.
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 Funny
Coda
joke.
can't do the
Joke.
I can't do the Yoda
Joke.
voice.
Joke.
Joke.
I can't.
You guys can't do
Joke.
the either, which is kind of fun to me. The heck?
I'm from America. I can obviously make machine gun noises.
Whoa. Okay.
That's a bra moment right here.
You can't do the You can't do the classic Dutch thing though.
Oh, yes. Oh, you think you. I have too much saliva in my mouth.
Imagine hearing that out of context.
You guys might sound like machine guns, but I sound like a chainsaw.
Oh, you do?
Now I'm dead. You're welcome.
Opalia has gone full cat mom. She's coughing up hairballs.
Yes, because I'm a furry.
But let's see. What was I gonna say?
Someone. Wait. She didn't accuse me of being a furry. Yes, she took the blame.
Coda, it's not a blame to be a furry, you know? You don't have to always be ashamed of being yourself.
Yeah, exactly, Coda. Don't be afraid to be yourself.
I feel so cornered.
That's because you are a Coen nerd.
Did you say Coen nerd?
This works on so many levels. I am Coen, I am a nerd, and I am in a corner. Kissing my invisible girlfriend.
So some people come out of the closet and Coen is just coming out of the corner.
Let's see, what kind of cheating were we talking about?
Oh, I forgot. Was it photo bashing? No, it wasn't photo bashing. It was style
were
theft.
talking-
Style theft.
Style theft,
Oh, yeah.
There we go. I feel like it falls under what I want to say is, I feel like it also falls under the category of like, it's not really wrong, but it can be seen as petty for sure. And it is very self-sabotaging in some ways. Because when you like only reference one person's style and don't steal from others, like I said once again in episode 2, you kind of get a diluted version. And I watched a video recently how this applies to cartoons in particular. When you take only cartoons as reference and have nothing grounded, you start making a thing called cartoons of cartoons, which, if you don't know what you're doing, are going to look so weird. They're like those episodes in a cartoon, ironically enough, where making a clone of a clone results in a really bad result, you know? That was a SpongeBob episode. Was that SpongeBob episode always an analogy for diluting art stuff? Whoa, okay, that's sick.
Cohen's like giving himself an existential crisis over here.
I'm
like,
not
wait a
giving
second.
myself...
When you're 14, you're deep. When you're 15, you get an existential crisis. Cut that part out because I named his age.
What age? I'm not 15. What are you talking about?
Oh yeah, you aren't. I'm sorry. That's very
I'm a
racist of me.
cucumber. I'm like 7 months old. And I said,
Oh no, we're going by vampire rules? You're like Alucard?
I am like Alucard. I I have actually existed for only my art journey. I didn't.
Oh.
I almost said ew.
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 Disgusting.
Gross.
Ew, he's a
But
child.
yeah, I feel like stealing an art style really hurts yourself in the way that if you do it for long enough, you kind of trap yourself with it. But it doesn't seem, in my mind, I don't have any personal experience with it, but it doesn't seem to be super hard to break out of it. You just need to, if you only draw like Mickey Mouse copies and they end up looking like worse Mickey Mouse worse Mickey Mouse, then just get in on some basics, try to find some other artists, and you'll end up with something you like, most likely.
Mayhaps.
Yes.
I mean, you should end up.
Oh, continue.
Like, if you only do stuff you have fun doing, you should end up with something you like.
Right. You know.
Left.
I unless anyone else has any good, like, really funny things people think are cheating or things they really want to mention, I think we can move on to the next little category.
Pose theft.
Oh, I hate that one.
Pose
it's just like,
theft.
you have used the same pose as me. Well, there's only so many ways of like bending the human body. Pose theft.
Yeah.
Okay, we can continue.
I actually had a discussion about this in the. I'm talking a lot this episode. I just realized I had a.
It's okay.
discussion.
You draw yourself in the profile picture. And the thumbnail.
Yeah, I had an idea of that. It's going to be really funny. I'm going to draw myself like tracing over an anime profile picture, and you guys are like an anime picture, and you guys are going to be like in the corners with like semi-realistic eyes just looking at me.
Do you need any help by that?
Maybe I should just do photo bash ties. Funny. No, I'll figure it out. I can draw semi-realistic eyes. It's
Just
fine.
do. You would not believe your eyes. Would not believe your eyes.
Yeah, exactly, like that one.
Would not believe your eyes.
But yeah, I was like, I had a discussion about this with some people in the Goldberger art server, and like they were comparing like two splash pages, like splash arts, and one was like older and one was like very similar. It was like the same pose, same composition, same framing, just a different character. And we came to the conclusion, or at least I came to the conclusion in like 2 minutes, and everyone debated it for like an hour, and then they came to the same conclusion I did in 2 minutes. That again, it isn't inherently bad, but when people see it, like when an art director sees that on your resume, like, oh, he just straight up stole the whole composition and pose, he is probably going to put you on a slightly lower pedestal. Like your painting or your drawing might be awesome, but that's still gonna put a
Can
dent
I rant
into
for a
that.
minute? Or a second?
Yes, go ahead.
I was in like art class, right? And we had very specific papers, like types of papers we had to use, right? But the teacher gave those out for me. So in the end of the assignment, he was like, "Oh yeah, I would have given you, I don't know, like one of the best grades, but you know, you got a 4 because you used the wrong paper." And you know who gave me the paper?
The teacher.
He. Yes.
That's funny.
He pulled me out for like misfortune.
I
That
mean-
piece of garbo.
You make it sound like it's a 4 out of 10, but it's a 4 out of 6, right?
Mhm.
Which isn't bad.
So, it's pretty much like 60%. No, not 60. 40%.
That's a 4 out of 10. It's
yeah,
not a
six
4 out of 10.
Wait,
it's-
4 out of 6 is much better than 40%.
Yeah, but like 1 is the highest, right?
Yeah, 1 is the highest.
It's definitely not confusing.
Weird.
It is not.
Yeah, that's kind of sucky. But like pose theft really isn't a thing. But it's best to at least change some things, like maybe put the hand in a different position, maybe change the composition up a little bit, because otherwise you're going to be seen as kind of petty. But I
Right.
feel like the best way to go also is to just mostly reference from real life.
Yeah.
Because when you're like stealing a pose from another drawing, I'm not saying it's bad, but it's like worse than stealing a pose from real life, you know? Because stealing a pose from real life just isn't a thing. But stealing
Exactly.
like if Coda sent in this image of a really cool pose, and he's like, wow, I thought a lot about this pose, and I put my character with the cool color palette that Coen stole in it. It's great. I'm super happy with it. And then the next day I come up like, yeah. So I came up with this really cool pose. It's exactly the same one as Coda. Except it's with my character, and it's the exact same framing and composition. Well, Coda's gonna find that a little bit petty, and other people are gonna point it out, most likely.
Yeah. I think the thing is, it just showcases an inability. It showcases a lack of understanding of how the thing actually works, so you need to steal it from other people.
Yeah, but like some people just do it as a shortcut, but not like I guess it's a shortcut. It's just a lazy thing, but this is like particularly lazy in my mind, because when you get uh when someone orders you like make a cool splash art image for me, and you just see someone else's splash art and you just take that and you basically just do the same thing but with a different character, that isn't really a good thing. Like, I
Yeah.
guess it's new and transformative, but it is good. Like, people are
Yeah.
gonna see it, and people are gonna be mindful of that. People are gonna know it.
Right.
Mm.
But when you're learning, don't even think about that stuff. When you're not doing it professionally, don't even worry. Steal all Coda's poses.
Yeah.
You might
Yeah,
stop.
especially Coda because he's a master.
Stop.
Not even, not close.
Why did I say stop?
Opalia, you know that's wrong.
Why did I say stop?
Okay, Mom.
Coda and I both like insulted each other like indirectly, accidentally. This episode, this is great.
Oh.
Coda and I have beef now.
Yes, we need to make diss tracks.
Fantastic.
Not again.
Not again. But,
Coda, more like slow down.
I have to leave.
Do you actually?
No.
Thank God.
So,
what were you gonna say?
I think another thing with, like, that comes with pose theft is, like, concept theft in a way, because when you pose something the same, it's the same concept. And of course, I don't really think these things are totally real, but it's like Coen said, it's basically pretty visible when you do it and pretty noticeable. I saw a recent thing on Twitter where there was this drawing, and the drawing was by this artist. It was just popped up in my feed. I don't even know who the artist is, but the drawing was basically two people sitting side by side on like a bench, looking away from the camera, so you saw their back, and one person had a leash and a collar on, and it was drooping down, and the other person was grabbing the end of the leash behind their back. So, and then somebody else made a drawing with a different color scheme, different characters, but it was the same composition and same pose, and like just the basic concept. Like that, you could tell they didn't trace it. They just kind of copied it, like the idea.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering, what kind of art are you looking at, Coda?
It popped up in my Twitter feed. It wasn't.
Twitter gives you stuff.
But doesn't Twitter show you like
Twitter
things you're interested in?
No, that is not Twitter. That is not the Twitter way. Twitter will show you anything.
Twitter's like, you follow this guy who follows a guy who liked a post by a guy who follows another guy.
Yeah, exactly.
So here you go. Also, I follow Teleproot, so I do get a couple weird things every now and again.
Yeah.
No one will get that one.
Anyone who follows
Unless they know
Teleproot
him.
will.
He doesn't do NSFW, but he sure is into it.
He's so close.
Like, remember that one time he had a voice actor animation?
Yeah.
Well, I was like, wow, this is a pretty nice voice. I'm gonna check out this voice actor's. Nope! Haha! No.
Oh, was it like a hentai voice actor?
Yep.
That's nice.
But yeah, basically, if you steal like a concept or a pose or a composition, it's noticeable, and it will make you look bad. Even if it's not cheating, it will make you look bad.
For sure. And in both of these examples, it isn't just like a pose theft. You know, it is like whole concept and composition theft.
Yeah,
Like it's one thing to copy the pose, but then it's another thing to copy the metaphor behind it, the exact composition, the exact framing, and everything related to that.
right.
You
Like
could
it
say
might
you
have
should refrain from that.
yeah, you should refrain from it. But this doesn't apply to learning and doing master copies or like memeing it. As
Right.
long as you like,
Actually,
it's just best to credit the original and not do it in professional stuff.
I actually had a situation with a friend of mine where she got accused of copying stuff because she was using it as a reference. And since she is pretty good at, like, quote unquote, copying drawings,
Yeah,
someone pretty much accused her of obviously having stolen that drawing, whilst she's just extremely good at copying. Like, holy moly. I saw her
yeah.
doing it live, and I was just like,
Stop,
no,
please.
I don't
No, I
believe you.
don't.
I want to see the layer underneath. I don't. I no.
Yeah,
I don't trust that. And she's like, there is no layer underneath.
I do feel
I
like
am
some
drawing on the
people.
background layer.
I do feel like some people take copying a bit for granted. Like when someone I know in real life, like sends me a drawing without any context, it's most of the time just a copied anime drawing, and I'm just like, haha. Cool. Uh, in the back of my mind, I'm just, yeah, they copied this, I think, because it's kind of
Yeah,
obvious, but you can never tell, really.
some people. Shaking my head.
You can. You can sometimes. I've had images that were so close to the original, get sent through to get verified from the guild that I reversed image searched it and the
Yeah,
original came up.
But like, then she got accused of that copying, and we put the drawing over the other one, right? And you could literally see that like one part only was like really fitting perfectly, but we had to like resize it and like turn it a little bit.
Yeah.
So
ah,
I mean, coincidentally, there can always be lines that just fit very well.
Yeah.
yeah,
Once again, it was more of a concept theft than a literal tracing, which once
yeah,
again, like I said, I don't think it's really a real thing because there's only so many things you can do, but it will look bad on you.
yeah,
I think as long as you only use it for like private use, for example, she used it as a profile picture on like a small server. I think that's totally fine. And she always says like, "Yeah, this is the original. I just copied it, and my friend colored it in for me."
Ah, okay. Yeah.
So I think that's fine.
Yeah.
By the way, I'm the friend that
So,
colored it in.
I think that's enough for the first chunk of this. What was the second thing we were going to get into? Things that actually are cheating?
yeah. But I wanna, with that, I wanna quickly tell a funny story that happened today because it's a good introduction to this, actually.
Go ahead.
Uh, so like, I do stuff in the Popcross server a little bit. Uh, Not that important. I didn't do much.
Coen, don't say that because you know you did, and you saying that just makes us know you did.
Shh, doesn't matter. But we were like, I was looking at the mod chat, and apparently someone had sent in the characters for Pop channel, like a drawing from Breadstick, who is one of the moderators.
And Brett Six just went, "Huh."
Yeah, but the funniest thing is, like, that was his submission. It was like a panda robot Breadstick had drawn before. But then after that, he sent another drawing Breadstick made and said it was a gift for Christian in particular, even though it, it was like something completely unrelated. And in fact, it was a commission for another moderator.
What did he think was gonna happen?
I don't
Oh,
know.
that's unlucky.
But he got banned really quickly.
Oof.
That is just straight up art theft.
Yeah, exactly. When you join the artist guild, also you have to
Get verified with an A.
Yeah, you have to get
Yeah.
verified by sending a drawing. It doesn't have to be good, it's just a drawing. It's
Oh yeah.
separate the memers from the artist. And one
Yeah.
time someone
Exactly.
sent a drawing Opalia made in like 2015 as their art.
Yep. Also, like, Coen, remember the guy like yesterday or the day before where Sai asked like, "Did you actually draw that?" And they went, "Yep." Then I used 10i and it was just like 5 million results. What it
Wow,
feels
this
like.
artist must be popular. Wow.
Wow, people are stealing this one all over the place.
Wow.
Jeez, I sure hope that at least he is like genuine, but he said it's his, so it should be his, right?
Yep.
Yeah. But really, art theft, not okay. Never okay.
So I don't think there is such thing as cheating in art. I'm just gonna say it. Like this subject of things that are actually cheating,
Yeah.
I don't think it exists.
Yeah, it's just
I wouldn't
stealing
call
at
it
this
cheating
point.
in particular. Like it's either tracing and theft, or learning and improving, or
I mean, tracing can even be educational in some ways.
exactly.
And when you're a kid, of course you're gonna trace. Except if you're me and you're cool. Then you actually give credit to the originals.
Coda.
You did it
Coda.
too.
Watch the first episode for that one.
Exactly. Haha, we're the best at doing innuendo. Not innuendos, it's not called innuendos.
What?
That's the wrong word.
Abort mission.
Don't say abort right after you said innuendos. Do not.
So, since we are very child-friendly, what is your child-friendly opinion on child-friendly cheating?
Yeah, I feel like I'm of the opinion that children should just have fun with art. You know, like you could just take a drawing and show it to your mom and say like, "Look, I made this." Your mom might be like, "Oh, that's nice, sweetie." Seeing
And
the
then she hangs it up on the closet, the fridge.
fridge, yeah. But really, that there's nothing wrong with that. That child is not gonna go online. Like I'm talking about like 0 to 12-year-olds here.
Yeah.
Like 0 to 12-year-olds should just have fun with art, and once you get 13, that's, for me at least, in my mind, an ideal age to get like
Yeah.
into doing art more seriously.
I think we all started doing art more seriously pretty early. Like most people just, I'd say, even have fun with it till you're like 15.
Not me, Lamau.
But I was watching Drawbox, the course, I was taking it, and
Oh, yeah.
The dude said, "Who is this course not for?" And he goes, "It's not for kids. If you're a
Yep.
child, don't take this course. If you're a mom,
Yeah.
don't force your child to be good at drawing. Kids need to just enjoy it. Kids need to have
Yeah, for sure.
fun. Steal, do whatever you want."
That's where I got that information from mostly, actually.
Cohen is not a kid.
No.
He knows how to watch this stuff.
I'm 7 months old. What are you talking about?
That's not a child, that's a fetus, I guess.
I mean,
7
if you're
months out of
talking
the
about
womb.
7 months in the womb.
In the
yeah.
womb. I am still a fetus.
So technically, my birthday is in January. Why didn't you give me presents, Ri?
I still think the imagery of Coen, every time Coen records the podcast, his mom is just standing with the microphone to her stomach. And
She's like, "You're doing great, sweetie."
Like-
and you're like,
That is exactly
as we all
what I
know,
sound
that's
like.
what fetus sound like.
Yeah, fetuses make the strangest noises. I love it when a fetus
Screeching,
makes noises.
shouting.
When a fetus, a thing that has no developed vocal cords or lungs.
local cords.
Local cords,
The
vocal
GPS isn't
cords.
really built in yet.
Exactly. When you're a fetus, your GPS isn't built in yet. That's just how it is, people. You can put
Yes.
that one in quotes.
Put it in quotes, yeah. I love it in this
Someone
quote
do
chat
that.
room.
Someone do that when you're a fetus. Your GPS isn't built in yet. I can't say it because it's my quote.
Oh, it's so funny.
Coda, do it, please.
I'm quoting myself.
Yeah, that's selfish. Let's see.
That's not selfish. That's being Opalia. And being Opalia is the best.
Wow, I want to be Opalia. Coda, can you help?
Exactly.
Coda, can you help me to be Opalia?
You just need to be gay.
Okay, Coen, first step is being...
Thanks, Coda.
How to become Opalia. Step 1.
I can't do it. I cannot.
That sounds like it hurts a lot.
It
Do I
did.
always sound like that?
It did. I'm not a tea kettle.
You are not.
When you're a fetus, your tea kettle isn't built in yet.
By the way, what would you call a fetus virus that you are about to delete? Fetus deletus. Thank you.
I'll be here all night.
Because I have no place to go.
Oof.
Wow, okay.
Imagine that being the ending joke. Thank you, I'll be here all night because I have no place to go. Walks out.
Oh.
And people are like, geez, this gives me just strong Joker vibes.
Anyways, so let's do a thing. Let's do a thing. Can we all just agree that cheating doesn't exist? Like I said,
I feel like it's a matter of definitions. And Coda, if you say that cheating doesn't exist, people are gonna take it out of text, and they are gonna use it against you. Just
Hi,
when
I used it out of context.
when Coda gets a girlfriend, he'll just get a selfie of like one of his friends kissing his girlfriend. Like cheating doesn't exist.
Oh, delete that friend out of your life.
I do. I just ran through all my friends. It was like, who would be most likely to do that? Out by accident. But, yeah, in the context of art, cheating doesn't exist because the thing that people think is cheating is just stealing. And,
Yeah.
to me, things like photo bashing and stuff that aren't really stealing, they're just shortcuts, aren't cheating. Because in the end, it's to make an image that people enjoy. Or really just anything, but I'm talking in the context of visual arts. It's to make an image that people enjoy. So if that calls for you to use a 3D model, if that calls for you to use reference, do it, you know? It's not cheating. So there's no such thing as cheating in art. There's only stealing. And even then, it's very hard to actually steal, you know?
I feel like it's just a matter of definitions. Like, what do we define as stealing? What do we define as cheating? Like, in my mind, stuff like using a pose from a different person or photo bashing or using 3D models is cheating, but it's like not a problem whatsoever. Because it's mostly just cheating yourself if you're trying to learn. But for professionals, it's just a shortcut. And I guess in my mind, I classify it as cheating, but like in the general sense, like it isn't. It's like in an entirely different league than like, I know, cheating in a board game even if a board game is just for fun, you know?
Yeah, because there are no rules to art, but there are rules to a board game. In order to cheat, you have to break the rules. There are no rules to art, thus you cannot cheat.
There are definitely rules to the abortion game.
What? That makes no sense.
What?
Get an abortion
Get
in
out.
the game of life.
Da-da-da-da. That's actually a game.
Yeah, I
The
know.
Game of Life. Game of Life Abortion Edition. I need to buy that one.
First, it needs to exist.
It didn't exist because you can't play the game because you got aborted.
Oh! God!
Wow. Okay.
Coen, are you wowing at your own joke?
Yeah, I did not expect myself to say that.
I didn't either.
I'm a bad influence.
It makes sense though.
Do I? I don't think I need to cut that out.
You should not cut that out. Like, I had the thought in my mind and I thought it was gonna be funny, and like halfway through saying it, I was like, oh, I need to slow this down. This is very heavy.
Oh God, I love it.
We need to make this Art Friends merch as well. Just on the website
game
like
of abortion.
zero like 1.69 or something, and it's the Game of Life Abortion Edition, and you just pay the shipping cost but nothing, right?
Oh!
It's just an empty package.
No, just like a box with the letter, and it says you're aborted.
Oh no! Oh no!
Oh, that's so cursed. I
Remember
love it.
when this about cheating, guys? I guess
I mean, some people that cheat abort the child.
I feel like I want to make this statement that cheating and abortions are kind of linked, but I'm not gonna do that. I guess I just did, but
I won't make you elaborate, I guess. Or maybe you might want to, so people don't take that out of context.
when you cheat, when you have a boyfriend and you spadoodle with another guy and you get a child and you abort, that's cheating and abortion. Hee hee.
Damn, he done did it.
You done
Thank you,
solved
guys.
it.
I'll be here all night.
Because I have no place to go. I'm homeless. Please take me home, thanks.
No, just you can end the sentence as like home. I'm home. I'm in my room right now.
Yes. Speaking of episode, we should get back on track.
Wow,
Coda's
that
just like, "Please."
I just derailed this whole podcast with just that one joke.
Oh, I'm gonna take some time to recover from that. Oh, let me just
Fair.
shift gears for a second.
Okay, let's do a fun thing and think of like the worst situation, like the worst, most amoral scenario you could have in art.
I would say posting somebody else's thing, literally, and claiming it to be your own in front of a wide audience.
I would say it's stealing illegal art, in fact.
What do you mean by that?
Like, there are no rules in art, but there are still laws. So...
you mean depictions of illegal things?
Yeah.
I think that kind of goes outside the boundaries of even art itself, and it's just kind
Yeah.
of immoral.
Well,
at that
we
point.
might talk about that in another episode. That's a fun topic, but I feel like it isn't even like the worst thing isn't stopping at just showing it in front of a big audience. It's also like selling it and using it for commercial use.
Oh, you're right.
Obviously, he's right. He's Coen.
I'm left. It's one.
No, I meant. Oh, frickel people.
It's like it's one thing to steal Coda's art, show it to a big audience, and everyone praise you because you made this awesome drawing that Coda made, in fact. But that's another thing to steal Coda's art and sell a T-shirt of it
Right. I
and
didn't
say
think
that
about
it's your own in front of a big audience.
Right. Exactly.
And then an even worse step is to, when you get called out and when you have to take it down, to smack talk the artist.
Please tell me someone did do that.
Oh,
Someone did
I've
that,
seen it.
most likely.
Yeah. I feel like I've
Like,
seen that before somewhere.
I stole your art, sold it commercially without your permission, and claimed it as my own. And you think that's a bad thing, and you took me down.
Oh, I
You are
remember there was like a
horrible.
whole on. Wasn't there like a whole on Twitter beef about that?
Maybe. If you didn't want me stealing your art, you should have put a watermark on it.
Yeah, that's disgusting. That sentence is disgusting to me.
The thing is, some people even put off the watermark and then put their own watermark on top of your watermark.
Oh yeah, that's even worse.
It's so disgusting. Like, ew.
Like taking an unwatermarked picture and like watermarking it with your own watermark.
I've also seen people like using a watermarked picture, first painting over the watermark, like putting all that effort into it, just to put their own over that.
Oh yeah.
Like, how low could you sink, you piece of
Doo-doo.
do?
I mean,
Baby.
honestly though, if somebody did that with like an iStock photo, I'd just have nothing but respect.
That's still no, Coda. You shouldn't have respect for that. Stock images might be weird. They're still photographers, Coda. They're still
Listen, the joke
photographers.
was that there were so much watermark to remove that it's more work than just buying it.
Yeah, I guess.
Honestly, I also have pretty much respect for that because that would take so many hours.
True. But then again, just because something took long doesn't mean it's particularly impressive.
Yes, I suppose people shouldn't take that outside of a joking context.
Like, it doesn't mean it's automatically impressive or anything valuable. Like, I could spin in this chair for 500 hours, and by the end, my organs would be in different places, and I would lose my sense of balance for eternity. But but no one would find that like world shattering, or no one would thank me for doing that.
Thank you, Coen.
Unironically,
Now we know
you
that you're
know,
an idiot.
like ironically, people might do it. You know.
Right. So let's get back on track a bit. The last
Yeah.
thing we wanted to get into, and this is going to end it off, and it shouldn't be that long of a discussion. What is cheating yourself, would you guys say?
It's like, I feel like a major thing that happens is like younger or less experienced artists cuts that professionals use, and they really mystify them. They see super cool tricks, and they kind of are that really speed up the process, but they kind of shoot themselves in the foot. You know, it's like like the only analogy I can think of right now is using a rocket launcher when you're not sturdy enough to wield it, I guess.
That's a good one, I'd say. Using a rocket launcher when you don't know how to fire a shotgun.
Yeah, because Coda, you're the only one that's actually fired guns out of all of us.
Have you?
Coda's fired guns, right?
You know that I was in a hunting
You were?
team.
Coda was
Yeah.
too. You guys have both hunted and wielded guns.
Yeah, I'm pretty good at shooting. Good enough to even say Coda. I would actually
Murder me?
Beat you in a
Shoot.
shooting match?
Yeah, I think that's how you could call it.
I played
I want to
Titanfall
murder him.
too.
I don't know yet. I
Gunfight!
haven't decided yet.
Gunfight. Coda, is that what they do in the winter when there isn't any snow in America? They just, instead of a snowball fight, they just use guns.
Yeah, but they throw the guns, they don't shoot them.
They throw the guns.
Oh lordy lord, I got a free shotgun.
Yes.
I'm just imagining a bunch of 12-year-olds throwing Desert Eagles and AK-47s at each other. But I feel like when like shooting yourself in the foot, wielding a rocket launcher and you're not equipped to, and like sabotaging and cheating yourself, like the obvious stuff like using a 3D model when you don't know human anatomy, or like photo bashing when you don't have the skills to utilize it properly yet. You know, stuff like that. That's like pretty obvious to me at least. But a less obvious one I thought about a lot is how you can, like, it isn't exact how you can like hold yourself back somewhat with references. I don't think there's a wrong way of using references. I just think there's a way that's more efficient, or more, it isn't more efficient. There's a way that's more like useful to you as an artist, especially when you're learning. And I only realized this recently, and I'm feeling like a bit of a dum-dum now. But the main difference is that in the past, I would just look at a reference and just straight up copy it. Like, straight up just look at it and replicate it. No other thought put in. Like, I might look at the relations, but I wouldn't think. And the better thing to do, in my opinion, especially if you're not comfortable drawing it and you're drawing it because you want to get better at drawing it, it's really, in my opinion, the best to first look at it for a minute or something, or like just take more time to actually look at it and analyze it a bit. So when you're doing figure drawing, what I do now is before I even start, I might like analyze the pose a bit. Like, okay, left knee is like almost perpendicular to the elbow and the arm kind of flops over there, you know?
Yeah.
And then I try to replicate it from my head. And then I look back to kind of correct myself. And
Yeah.
I've seen some people take it even further, where it's like they will replicate or analyze it and replicate it in their sketchbook, then close the reference and just draw a whole bunch of that thing from memory.
Yeah, I think the best way to go about doing what you're talking about is to first draw it without reference and then draw it with, because then you're like, "Oh, that's that's what was wrong."
That is a really good technique too.
Honestly, you can always like fit it your learning style. Like, for example, with figure drawings, it always depends on, as I said, the Jesus, I have hiccups. On the learning style, because like for some people, like what you said is definitely the best way to go. Whilst for others, um, you should rather go with like first draw maybe that whole thing, like draw it while you see it, then draw it without seeing it, and then drawing it with seeing it first and then not seeing it anymore.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of like different variants on this that you could do.
Yeah.
And you just have to just try them all and see what works for you.
Yeah, my personal favorite
Exactly.
way to go about using references is to not use a reference that's at the same angle as the thing I'm drawing. And what I'll do is I'll break it down into shapes. So if I'm drawing a deer,
Yeah, so you analyze it.
yeah, so if I'm drawing a deer, I'll first get a reference image of a deer or two, break those down into shapes, and then use those same shapes but angled the way I need them in my drawing.
Yeah. But I don't think that like again it could just be used as a shortcut really. Like when you already know how to draw a deer and you need it at a specific angle, it's much faster to just have a reference open of a deer at that specific angle and just sketch it out. Like you can do that in like a couple of seconds, really.
I think how you can decide if you like want to draw with or without a reference is just to think about what use is it for. For example, if it's for learning, you can do what Coen says.
Yeah.
But if it's only to get an illustration done and you just want to be over with it, I think it's fine to use that reference just next to your drawing.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Like
if it's like in the same angle that you need, beautiful.
Yeah. So, what do you guys think about tracing? Tracing over an image, do you think that that's like if you were to take a reference, import it, and trace over it, do you think that that's cheating yourself?
it
I would
is.
say it depends.
It is because like yeah, it depends. Get into it. Opalia, I'll talk it a bit.
For what use are you doing it? For example, if you only use, let's say you took a picture of yourself. If you only use it as a reference, I would say you cheat it yourself. If you trace over it because you want to do an overpainting where you like, I don't know, draw a stand behind you, who would ever do that? Then, it's
At that point, it falls more into the photo bashing territory, I guess. Like painting on top of photos.
True. Yeah.
But I think it's like, I feel like tracing is a lot more mindless than just analyzing and even copying. Because when you're copying, you have to look at the relations in the image itself. Like, okay, the eye is this far from the nose and kind of at that angle and stuff. You know, like you're thinking about it more. But when you're tracing, like you have people who actually break it down and think about it, like Good Boy Coda over here. You know, but there are people who just mindlessly follow the lines, and then it might be faster and it might be a shortcut, but it doesn't teach them anything at all. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's fair. I think it is really just a matter of being super aware,
Yeah,
being aware of where you're at skill wise and what shortcuts you think you need to take. So,
yeah,
for example, I teach jujitsu class to kids a lot. I'll teach Brazilian jiu-jitsu to kids, and there's this move where basically you grab them in a certain way and rotate your body, and it rolls them over. And if the other person you're doing it on is being sloppy, there's this shortcut where you don't even need to rotate your body. You can just kind of roll them over. And I see a lot of kids practicing it as if they could use the shortcut every time. They just roll the person over without rotating their body. And then when they're actually wrestling or they're in a tournament and they get to a position where they have to use that, they forget they don't actually know how to do it without shortcuts and they don't actually understand the technique, so they fail.
yeah,
So I can use the shortcuts because I understand the technique really well. And so now I can be like, okay, I know how to do it without them. I can do it with them.
yeah. And I feel like that gets into the like you need to know the to break them territory. But I don't want to restrict art. So when you shouldn't like when you're a beginner and you're really excited about photo bashing, just try it really. Like you're not. It probably isn't going to be super good, and you might not learn a lot from it. But if you have fun with it and you're excited to do it, go for it. I'm not stopping you.
Yeah.
I mean, cheating first place isn't inherently bad. It's just
Yeah,
if you always use it, it will like shoot yourself in the knee. But if you only use it here and there, it's more than fine, honestly. And
yeah,
if you learned something from it, that's even better.
Yes. And especially when you're just starting out, like brand new, tracing can help you get a feel of things. Like,
yeah, for sure.
because learning how to draw things is actually a very different skill than learning how to draw. So learning how to
Yeah,
draw in my eyes is like learning the hand movements, like actually getting an unconscious awareness of how space works, and just like because you'll notice when you look at someone who has never drawn before and someone who draws a lot, simply the way their hand moves and the way the lines look on the paper is extremely different. So
yeah, and
like
that gets into like draftsmanship and like feel
yeah,
experience.
and just feeling out what's going on. Like I used to trace all the time, and I would always trace this very bubbly style. It was super exaggerated style, and it still influences me today. I I know how to draw very full looking shapes just out of instinct because I used to trace them all the time. And if I wouldn't have traced, I might have not gotten there.
That gets into style
Exactly.
too. Haha. Watch episode 2.
I mean, for example, but also like using, for example, Minecraft or other games to freshen up your visual library gets you to do a drawing quicker. Like that's what you can see when
Yeah.
craftsmanship is like higher. For example, I was talking to Coda once about after he had shown me like a week ago like the perspective studies. And pretty much I quickly did a drawing with a high horizon line and finished the sketch within like, what was it, 5 minutes?
Yeah, something awesome like that.
And I think like, that's what cheating and stuff can also get you to, like, to quicken up your process. But then again, I wasn't cheating.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like at that point, it
Mm.
isn't really like it's a form of cheating, but it's more of a shortcut.
Yeah. Just because I have like seen like games like that and have stuff like that in my mind.
Yeah. And uh I think when it comes to stealing and all that sort of stuff, is it cheating? Just one last point I wanted to make kind of before we wrapped up is uh when you steal it don't try your best not to steal from other artworks. Like try your best not to
Oh
steal
yeah.
another pose from another artist or anything because people will see it and they will realize it. And it's inherently a stylized pose, and if you steal it, you draw it in their style, so on and so forth.
I
But
mean, still do it. Just don't claim it as your own.
exactly, still do it.
Yeah.
But stealing from real life is a completely different thing. So, for example, I'm currently working on a drawing that takes place in like a bar / like nightclub type setting, and
Where they only play Kids Trap.
where
It's
they only play
PG-13.
Kids Trap. It is a PG nightclub. Uh, uh, all the dancers are doing the hokey pokey, so they.
We do the hokey pokey.
They're just like
That's what it's all about.
girls in long sleeved shirts,
And
trousers,
turtlenecks.
and turtlenecks doing the Macarena.
They do the duck dance.
Oh yes.
Wait, Opalia, do you know the Kabouter?
The what?
The Kabouter dance.
What is it?
It's like there's this like they call themselves the Disney of the Benelux, which is Belgium, Netherlands, and Luxembourg. Studio 100, and they have this property called Kabouter Plop, which means like dwarf plop basically. And there's this thing called the like dwarven dance, I guess, the Kabouter dance. And it is the best dance ever made.
Oh, Coen needs to show it to you.
Yes, you need to send me a video after the podcast.
I do need to do that.
But yeah, where I was going with that was basically I googled a bunch of pictures of like nightclub type settings, and I literally ripped different bars and different little knickknacks and different settings and different chairs straight from the references. The things I'm drawing are literally a mishmash of a bunch of different references. But I stole from real life, and I stole from multiple references. So now nobody's ever going to know.
Which is a great thing. And when you like iterate on the drawing, at some point you're just gonna like not look at the reference and you'll change it in very subtle ways. And it'll be like coherent. It's a difference between like you taking the elements from different scenes and making it one cohesive scene. Like, there's a difference between that and taking the photos and putting them together, basically.
Yeah, and I think it would help. Like, whenever people get accused of stealing, it's because they stole from one image. When if you stole from multiple images, you're good to go.
Yeah. Like, you can, if you're creative enough and if you bring enough in of your own thing, you could really get away with like stealing just 2 images, really.
Yeah, I think
even one image.
There's an episode of the KNKL show about stealing from other artists. That's really good.
Oh yeah, that is one of my favorite episodes. That really informed me on stealing as an artist. Yeah. And I feel like a problem I have seen is like, again, terminology and definitions. Like, I love just when I'm teaching or telling people about this stuff, I love saying words like stealing, cheating, because they're such strong words, and it just feels good to say. It just feels good to say I'm an art thief, and it feels good to say I cheat in art, and it feels good to say, yeah, I steal art. I steal a lot of it.
It is odd, but there is a mentality where I feel the same. Like, used to, I was like, I didn't photo bash the water, but now I'm like, nah, this was just a ripping off this dude's style. I was just trying to get it nearly as good as him.
Yeah.
Am I literally the only honest one here? Jeez.
I'm not dishonest. When do I lie, actually? People are telling me that I'm
I've never
honest.
lied once in my life.
That's a lie.
That's a lie.
You can't prove that.
Well, we can, because he once lied to us and we were like, JK, I'm lying.
Coda, are you a furry?
No.
See?
It's a lie.
See, he's lying.
Oh.
We got him. Opalia, are you editing this episode?
No.
No. You could have put Mr. Whiskers.
Nah.
Just like
let's not.
a close-up.
You guys, that's basically blackmail at this point.
It really is. That campaign wasn't for fun. It was to get Mr. Whiskers to exist.
At one point, I played a D&D type thing with Coen and Opalia, where Opalia dungeon mastered and had her whole world built. And I decided she had a bunch of races that she created, and one of them was a cat race, and I decided to draw someone as the cat race. And I drew this really hot, just this handsome cat character.
You admit that he is hot. Aha. We got him.
Ladies and gentlemen,
The
we
whole
got him.
joke was that he was hot.
Yeah, but you just admitted it.
Okay, well now they send it to everyone to prove I'm a furry.
He didn't say to make people believe I am. He said to prove.
Oh, that's enough of this episode.
Okay, but in full honesty, Coda isn't. It's just a character, and we are making fun of
It's a
him
funny
because
joke.
we are mean.
Yeah.
Opalia.
Nothing wrong with furries.
I'm
It's
Opalia.
it's just a joke.
Hey.
I thought you were gay. I feel betrayed. But the whole joke is
Plot
joke
hole
isn't
right there, folks.
plot hole. The joke isn't that it's bad to be a furry. The joke is that Coda isn't a furry, but we make him a furry.
Yeah, the joke is that I don't want to be, yet they make me one.
Yeah. But
Well,
anyhow,
And see, that's what every fairy would say.
to round out this episode, I think it's fun to talk about, like Coda touched upon it earlier a bit, with him like using different images and combining them into one. But what kinds of, and Opalia mentioned it earlier too a bit, but what kinds of cheating do you guys do? Like cheating in quotation marks.
I'm using like Minecraft, for example, to make myself it easier to learn how to draw textures and backgrounds.
Yeah. Like you mentioned that earlier too, I think.
Hmm.
Yeah.
But overall, I just draw.
Yeah.
Yeah. For sure.
Like, how about you, Coda?
Well, Okay, so if people are considering style theft and color palette theft and things like that cheating, then I do quite a bit of it because I tend to, every time I make a big illustration, basically knock off one or two artists who I really love. So, for example, that nightclub thing I'm working on right now, where everyone's doing the Macarena, I
Please make them actually.
I'm going to attempt to knock off Marco Bucci's painting style. As much like I'm not going to limit myself to painting like Marco Bucci, but at the same time, I'm going to steal all the things I like that he does. I'm just going to straight up steal it for at least this illustration and see if I like anything.
I mean, that's more of a, like, you could argue that's more of an inspiration and influence thing. But I do like the word stealing more, so you're stealing Marco Bucci's brushwork and painting style.
Yes, but when it comes to things, I don't know.
Like, how often do you guys use reference?
Oh, every drawing.
Rarely.
What'd you say, Paulia?
Rarely.
Oh, that's interesting.
But it is odd, Opalia's ability to draw things from memory.
Yeah, it's scary. It isn't odd, it's just scary.
Like, I remember one time Opalia and I looked at a picture of a vine snake, and like 2 weeks later, I was like, it would be funny if you drew a vine snake, and she just busted one out, and I was like, that looks like a... what?
Stop. Oh, by the way, I didn't mention it earlier, but I think a funny, or like a fun thing, like a story I heard, not sure if it's actually true because it didn't get confirmed, but I'm pretty sure it's true. One of the, like, I'm gonna mention him again, we mentioned him a lot, but Kim Jong-gi is very well known for his ridiculous memory and intuition and capabilities. And I heard that, like, almost every morning, he, like, or like some other artist did it, but every morning he would just open his phone and look at some references and really analyze them and break them down.
Of
Without,
what? Just
without
things?
actually drawing them. Just things like helmets, people, faces. He would
God,
just
that would bore me.
look at stuff. I mean, that's fair enough, but I feel like I would be able to do that. I feel like I would just have a big... I would just have to make like a Pinterest board, I guess, of stuff I could look at and
Yeah.
break down in my head.
That's not to be confused with scrolling through Instagram, everyone who wants to use that as an excuse.
I mean, even when you're scrolling through Instagram, you break the stuff down in your head. Kind of think about it more.
Not
Instead
really.
of like...
You kind of have to consciously do it to me, personally. You can't
Yeah,
just
that-
pick something up on accident. I mean, you can, but not well.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like when you're looking, there's a difference between looking for Instagram and being like, oh, this pretty, tap tap, scroll past it, and like, oh, this pretty, let's actually So I like the color palette. It's like mainly cyan, but with some pinks in it, which really complements it nicely. You know,
Yes.
even that just like that little amount of thought already helps you a bit.
Yes. So Coen, what are some ways you cheat?
I steal every single drawing I make ever off of Google, and I claim it as my own.
And you mean you use reference?
No, I literally have stolen every single image,
Oh.
every single thing.
You've just
You're
somehow
not the artist
found
yet.
enough images to where that are in a similar style to where it looks like you have a consistent style,
Yeah.
and
That would explain like the big style changes every now and then.
that would explain
have
how you
big
got so
styles,
good
yeah.
so fast.
Yeah, I just got better taste. No, that's
And just to not be like too obvious in the beginning, he posted like his own drawings.
Yes. So the very first ones are his drawings, but then they're
Yeah.
just Google search results.
And whenever he shows like the sketchbook, that's actually the one from his dad.
yeah.
Maybe his dad is the artist he is stealing from.
I like to
Wow.
think that his sketchbook, he just printed out all his drawings and compiled them into a thing.
Actually, that would make sense why Coen never did a speed paint.
I did.
It didn't get
I
corrupted.
did.
It didn't get corrupted.
I did.
It was actually him just trying to preserve his.
I did. We did one on Agi together.
I'm kind of convinced that you just import an image, turn it down to 1 opacity so no one can see it but you can trace.
Just
No, he just let his dad draw for him. That's why you were muted the whole call.
Wait, if you're a fetus, technically your mom is drawing for you.
that's funny.
He just has like a control panel inside of her.
It's like he has an Xbox controller.
Just that's hilarious. But at that point, I would be controlling. No, I just anyhow. But no, I actually I use references most of the time, but not nearly enough, and I don't analyze them enough. Or I'm doing that. I've done that more recently, and with recently I mean like in the last 2 days. No, in the last 2 weeks. Like I did not realize it beforehand. Like I did a lot of figure drawing, and it helped me with just getting a figure down or whatever, but I rarely analyzed, so I didn't get as much out of it. But I am getting a lot out of it now, as long as I don't slip into analysis paralysis. I use references the most out of the. I will sometimes reference different color palettes when I'm struggling, whatever. Like in a recent illustration I did, I referenced a color palette from a famous painter, and I kind of but used some stuff from it.
Oh, was it the old man?
Yeah, it was the old man stuff. I can't think of any other fun ways I cheat. Like I do want to get into photo bashing and using 3D models eventually.
Yeah, I want to use 3D models sometime, but as of now,
For now,
I have a hard time constructing the body in 2D really well, like in perspective.
I've already done that.
Yeah, exactly.
What'd you say?
I already did that one.
Damn it!
Opalia is so many steps ahead of us.
Yeah. I am the best artist of this group. No.
Wowie.
It sounded like you said coop, like we were all chickens. Yeah, so I think that's enough. I think
Yeah,
we talked
that was a
enough
fun
about
episode.
stuff. That was a fun episode. Opalia, did you enjoy it?
Yes, I enjoyed it.
I feel like Opalia's the only
It sounded
one
like I
that
had a
actually-
gun to your head.
Yeah. I feel like Opalia is actually the only one here that cheats in interesting and fun ways. We're just like, we use references sometimes. Lamau.
Yeah, we're pretty stale boys.
We are stale boys.
You know what I would love? If my drawing tablet would turn on.
Use pickup lines.
Hey you look pretty nice. the cable fell out.
That wasn't even a fun. That was just you be nice.
You know, maybe if we get a little bit further, we could get a connection. So you don't have to save any more power.
Eh?
Hey.
See, that one doesn't make any sense because you didn't see the power saving screen.
Oh.
Hey, drawing tablet, let's go to a party. You could be the driver.
Oh, that's good.
That is very good.
Thank you.
Do you want to go on a date with me? You screen into it. That was the worst one.
Hey, baby, here you on your way to my heart.
No.
Welcome to your new date.
Oh.
I expect this to go well. XP pen expect.
Yeah.
Sorry. You're welcome. I'll be here all night.
Expand that.
Yeah, I guess we should end this episode.
Let's end it.
I don't want to bamboozle you, but you look pretty good.
What?
Dang.
Oh, bamboozle. Yeah.
Yeah, it still didn't turn on.
You seem to have fallen for my stylist. He couldn't handle the neutron style.
Oh my god. Oh, that makes so much sense why it's not turning on. The cable wasn't in.
Wow.
Didn't you say earlier the cable fell out?
Oh yeah, I did.
Opalia's drawing tablet was never connected. It just was never plugged in. Great.
Oh, that makes so much sense, and I would have just sitting here frustrated.
But anyhow, I hope all of that gets cut out. This has been Art Friends. I hope you enjoyed it. We got into some useful information. We got into some very cursed information you should delete from your frontal cortex. No, I'm not done. Like if you liked it, subscribe if you subscribed it, and share it with your own art friends so they can listen to it too. And
Follow us on Instagram.
yeah,
And if you want to watch another episode of Art Friends, if this is your first one, every Friday on not really an estimated time, we will upload.
yes.
Okay, guys, goodbye.
Goodbye.
Stay safe. Drink your speed belts. Yes.
Drink
and
your
wear your
speed
water.
belts. Drink your speed
Or else. Bye. Bye.
Drink your speed
That's going in
belts.
quotes.
Drink your speed belts. Drink your speed belts. Yeah, everyone in the comments say happy birthday, Coda's sister. That's her actual name.
It is.
Her
My
name-
parents
her
really
name
like
is-
me, and so they're just like, let's base all Coda siblings' names around him.
Even the older ones.
Even the older ones, they predicted me. And my older brother is named Coda's older brother 1, and my second older brother is Coda's older brother 2.
Now, they had previous names, but once you were born, they were just like, yeah, let's rename them.
Legally. It is not just a nickname.
Yep. Absolutely legally.